Thanks for staying with us. And Bill OReilly in the Rolling with Carolla segment tonight. Clint Eastwood has a new film coming out on Friday. And, of course, in the publicity tour leading up to that, he's constantly asked about his appearance at the Republican convention when he spoke to an empty chair that was supposed to be President Obama. Some said that was inappropriate.
You know, they're not being disrespectful. I mean, nobody wants to sit and insult people, which, unfortunately, that's the way politics is people are always insulting one another that have different points of views than one another. But I just, you know, I was only had one message, and that was people look more than, you don't have to idolize these people.
All right, joining us now from Burbank, California with some commentary, the author of Not Taco Bell Material, Adam Carolla. When we last left you, you were mocking Clint Eastwood's hair. I'm not sure that's a good thing to do with Dirty Harry, who carries the most powerful handgun in the world. Anyway, after listening to Mr. Eastwood explain himself, you say?
Well, a couple of things. First off, I want to wish you a happy Rosh Hashanah, Bill OReilly, and your millions of Jewish viewers as well.
Well, they're celebrating tonight.
May the shofar always blow for you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Dirty Harry. The only thing hairy now is Clint's ears, because he's old and he's crazy, and that's fine. I like that. Listen, John Wayne used to speak to a hat rack for hours, and no one said anything about it. It's just part of being old.
Was that an acting technique that the Duke would? Why was he speaking to a hat rack?
Actually, he was just drunk.
Oh, okay. That would. But I don't think. Listen, I admire Eastwood. I got to tell you, I admire Eastwood. He's 82. He's in a new movie as a lead. Amy Adams is the he plays his daughter. He gets out. He does a bold, fresh, daring thing. Gets more attention than anything else in either convention. Maybe President Clinton was close, but Eastwood, rolls the dice. He gets his point across. If you don't produce for the folks, in his opinion, they should fire you as a politician. I think the message, was good. And, his delivery you can debate all day long. But you respect Eastwood, don't you?
Of course. Yeah, I'm just making fun of him.
All right.
Listen,
this
all
is
we
just
have is old people now,
right.
Bill. We can't make fun of fat people or Puerto Ricans anymore. All we have is old people, so that's about all we can do.
No, I can make fun of everybody. No, I'm not playing by those rules. All right, anybody in my zone. And some of the people I make fun of are in the Occupy Wall Street movement, which is celebrating its one-year anniversary of course, doing good things for America. They're here in New York City. Bunch of arrests, maybe 70, 80 arrests, but nothing extraordinary going on. These are the hardcore people. They didn't have a job last year. They don't have a job this year, and probably won't have a job next year. You like these occupiers?
I love these guys. And now that they fixed Wall Street, they can move on to curing cancer and diabetes. Now, of course, they've all run out of momentum, and they're back to their original movement, Occupy Futon.
They've been. Now, when I was your age, Carolla, no, a little younger than you, there was the Vietnam protests, and they were very intense. And everybody was running around, and they were yelling, they were screaming. I didn't really participate in those protests, although I understood that the Vietnam War was one big mess. But I would always go out and I would ask people, and so did Jesse Waters with the occupiers, what exactly are you teed off about? Most people don't even know. It's like the Muslims. They're just teed off in general, and if they get a chance to vent, they're going to vent. That's what all this is about, correct?
Yeah, it's about people not having a daytime gig and having way too much free time on their hands. And by the way, their hands smell of patchouli, and the devil makes work for hands that smell like patchouli. Why
does drug use go along with demonstrations? Now, not in the Muslim world, but in the Vietnam era, huge.
No, but it'd be nice if those guys could rip a bong load or two and mellow out.
And that would be if we could get a little Prozac into them and bring them down a little bit. You're right.
Muslim world. This is a bong. This is a hacky sack. Go sick.
Every big movement in America, protest movement, there's drugs all over the place. You would think that you would want to experience the moment because you are, practicing your freedom of speech. But they're I don't know. Do you know what the answer to that question is?
Well, first off, you have unemployable people, and part of the reason they're unemployable is drugs. Secondly, you can't get more than 250 white people together and play Fish music without somebody lighting a doobie. I mean, that's just the way it works. So whenever you have a large group of people get together, somebody's going to sell T-shirts and somebody's going to sell drugs.
I just don't, in the Vietnam era, and that's what the Vietnam thing was much broader than the Occupy thing, and there were a lot of good people in the Vietnam protests, but there were a lot of real crazy, screwed up people as well. But that drug infiltration, it was fascinating because, you know, they would demonstrate for about an hour, then they go get stoned for 3 or 4, then they come back and demonstrate a little more, then they go out and get stoned. I mean, it was, and I could never figure it out. I mean, if you're doing something that you think is important, experience it.
But, Bill, how many people, when there's a riot, are protesting police violence, and how many people just want some free flip-flops and a flat-screen TV? And how many people, after the Lakers win the championship, are huge Laker fans, and how many just want to burn a cop car? I mean, we have that ratio in every demonstration.
Yeah, that's true. Adam Carolla, everybody.